Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Monita. I make spiritual trap music or like 5D type music, and like on this channel, like I share my music. I like to talk about like ascension stuff and just stuff which just comes into my head. And yeah, I'm thinking you might meant to be hearing those things, because I feel like we are all kind of connected. But I mean, it sounds so cheesy, but now I feel it more than ever, because I see so many people like going through the same thing that I thought just me was going through, and I see like other people talking about the same stuff that just came into my head. So I'm thinking it's nice to, connect like this. Am I in focus more like this or more like this? I don't know. But well, okay, thank you for being here. Subscribe if you are also like into this type of stuff. In my chair is my chair is making noise again. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about doing things, because I realized that I have a fucked up relationship with doing things. And I fucked it up like in my past, because I tied my worth to doing stuff, and I didn't even realize that I did that. But I feel like also, like, yeah, I don't know, like every time I was not productive, I was putting myself down, like in my head, but subconsciously it was always like this thing, like you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough. And every time I've also felt like unworthy, in terms of if a person treated me wrong, or like in a way where I felt like a certain way about it, my automatic response was, okay, fuck you then. I cut you off, and then I jump into my work. So I can, because that person didn't reflect my worth back to me, and because I needed my worth to be reflected back to me, because I didn't see it, that it was innate, that I didn't have to do anything for it, or it didn't have to be proven to me, I went on into work. So like my work can prove my value to me if that person cannot reflect it back to me, you know what I mean? And like that's all fucked up, like even with the person having to reflect back my value to me, because that's not the way it works, it's more like the other way around. If you have your value, then like they will reflect it back to you, but not because you need it, just because that's the truth, And also just take what resonates from this, because like it might be different in your reality right now, and that's fine too. But I'm just saying, like, if you feel bad for not doing enough, because if you really need to be doing stuff in order to prove yourself your worth, like when is enough, like when is it enough? So I'm just checking the focus, like, because you could always be doing more, like always. And even when I achieved like little things, or like things, like you see, I say little, but because it's still like that a little bit in my head. If you achieve things, like there's always more. Because when I achieved like stuff, I was always like, oh, it could have been better, it could have been more, it could have been more. And it doesn't stop. It only stops when you stop. It stops when you realize your worth doesn't depend on what you do. It doesn't depend on how you look like. It doesn't depend on what people are reflecting back to you. It doesn't depend on your friends. It doesn't depend on anything. Only how you see it. And you are enough. I'm saying like you, but I'm saying you because from what I recently realized, so, So you're enough the way you are, the way you were born, like babies. They just like, they're just there, and everybody loves them, and they don't do shit, like shit, maybe shitting, like that's the thing they do. But that's not the topic. But, yeah, so basically just be fine with doing nothing. And I'm still learning that, because even like, for example, if you would sit there all day watching Netflix all day, or like for me it's TikTok at the moment, like if you would see my screen time, you would be like, girl, like what the fuck? But it's okay, and then like I realized the only time when it becomes not okay is when I'm starting to judge it. Yeah, the only time when it becomes not okay is when I'm starting to judge it. Like when my subconscious is like, oh, it has been a long time. this is like not considered acceptable anymore. You should be doing something. You should, and then you get in this should thing, but just in the back of your head, so you don't even realize because it's so subtle. And I get that as well, not just because right now I feel like it's the time for me to realize that and to release it and let it go. And it's the full moon today. It's the 28th when I'm recording this. Full moon in Libra, hey. and it's Libra and Aries, and like Libra is my star sign, and then Aries is the like one of the other ones. I always swap them around, but well. So yeah, it's okay to be doing nothing, and you know, like learn how to not judge yourself for doing nothing or for doing stuff that like society deems like unproductive, because there are so many insights and stuff I get from TikTok and from like through doing nothing that I would not have gotten if I would have just forced myself. And I've forced myself like the last years, and it didn't amount to what I wanted it to amount to, so I might as well try this other thing, right, and go with my intuition. And then obviously go with your intuition, because if it feels bad to do nothing, if your intuition is like, oh, I really want to do that thing, then really do that thing. But I also had that, and I know that it's toxic for me with this doing, because first of all, because I use it as a thing to pin my worth on. And now when I do nothing, it forces me to see my worth even when I'm doing, like, you know, that I'm still like valuable even if I do nothing, you know what I mean? And what was the other thing? And yeah, it's only a bad experience when you start judging yourself. And I did that also with good stuff. When I was productive, sometimes I made a beat, or I made a song, like I was working on a song, or I was editing or doing something. And when I was not in flow, I always started thinking like, oh, this is not enough. I should be doing this. I should, like, in terms of the edit, in terms of, oh, maybe I should be working on music when I was doing video stuff, or maybe I should be doing this, and da-da-da, and da-da-da. And I feel like now it's like this purge. Like now I'm purging all this should, and this like doing just to prove myself my worth is going away, and I'm fixing the relationship to doing stuff. And now I'm just doing stuff when it feels aligned, and when it feels like I really want to do that, and not when I feel like I have to prove my worth through it. Sorry, the focus is like I can't really see from here, but well. Exactly, so this is just a little reminder that you don't have to do anything in order to feel worthy. Like you can just be, literally just be, and you don't also have to like meditate, or because then like again, like that's another thing again, when I'm like on TikTok the whole time, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna be like, it's fine, and then my should head comes in again, and it's like, oh, but instead of being on TikTok, you should be meditating, you could go on a walk and sit. And then I'm like, no, shut up, I do what I want, you know. It's like a healing process, and I know that this is just a phase, you know, and it's gonna go soon, and I feel it, and it's like, even if it would stay, it's okay, I'm fine with it, like, because I'm okay the way I am, and I have the luxury to just be doing nothing at the moment, and it's beautiful, and it's nice, and it's like I'm accepting. Yeah, it's just like acceptance, radical self-acceptance. And it's not just like, it's also with like other stuff, you know, like with certain, like for example with the dancing, sometimes I used to judge myself when something didn't look right or it wasn't in time, and then I'm like, oh no, that's not good, and I'm just like, no, it's fine, like I just try new stuff, and then sweaty? No. I just try new stuff, it's fine, and if I fall, I fall, or like I don't really fall because my flat is kind of small to be doing that type of dancing where you could fall, but I mean, as in when I do something which looks weird, it's fine, I don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be perfect all the time, or in the way I look, you know, like that's something I'm still working on as well. It's like, if I don't look my best, it's fine, I still love myself. It is not like my worth is not pinned to what I do or how I look. It's me, is my being. And even when I'm like sometimes I even judge like my emotions, or I judge how I think, and then like when I catch myself, I'm like, no, stop it. Just accept it, it's okay, just feel it, just be with it, and don't think yourself out of it, and blah, 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 because that's when the uncomfortable feeling comes. Because for me, the uncomfortable feeling is not being on TikTok the whole time, because then like if I don't judge it, at some point I get bored, and then I'm like, oh, let me do something else. But if I do it and I judge it, then there's this resistance, and then I do it more and more, and it's like it becomes like a cycle, but like a cycle in which I feel bad. But if I don't judge myself, I feel good doing it, And it's fine, because then at some point I get bored and then I do something else, and that's cool, you know, and then I might even do something like more inspired, or I get inspiration, or yeah. So don't judge yourself. And I think there was something else I wanted to say in regards to what I just said. Was there? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge the way you think. Don't judge what you do. Don't judge how you look. Don't judge how other treat you. Like, just... And I mean judging as in like negatively, you know? Like judging as in like, oh, I should be doing this. Like this should energy. Because that should energy makes everything like ugly for me at the moment. Like this should. I should be doing this. I should be... Who says that? No one. It's just something in my head, you know, that I made up. So I can just like poof, gone. And yeah, I'm rewiring my brain so it doesn't judge myself like that whole time, because it's not that fun. You know what I mean? Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. And yeah, subscribe and like, and yeah, whatever. No, but most importantly, don't judge. Peace out. 8-Town. Asha. Okay, I got the song completely wrong. I got the song completely wrong, but if you know which song I was singing, then put it in the comments, because I don't even know who is the singer. Wow. Okay, this is like, wow. Why are my outros always like this and my intros as well? But I recently learned I think I have ADHD, and even like a guy, Mr. Inna, actually, like I did a music video for him. I had a meeting with him before, and then he like in the meeting, like he said, like, do you have ADHD? And I was like, what? Because it's such a random thing, right, for a person to say, but now I realize it. I feel like I have it, and the more I become myself, like the more I realize that I have it, and like I feel like I'm just like super good in masking. But now that I'm wanting to be like more myself, I realize it more and more that I actually like, I feel like I have like this like even on TikTok, I see a lot of TikToks and they talk about it, like this neurotypical and non-neurotypical, neurodivergent, exactly. And like a lot of things they talk about I can relate to a lot. Okay, wow, longest outro ever. Bye.